So ARK Survival Evolved is a massive dinosaur survival game, with unique maps with their own bosses, over 100 different creatures and many different achievements to unlock, so I'm going to attempt to complete 100% of ARK Survival Evolved. I spawned myself in at the southwest of the map, where I knew there would be some good stuff. Explorer notes. These give levels which are important in the early game to help you progress, and it's actually one of the achievements that I need to do. So I went around the southwest, getting explorer notes and levelling up my character before killing myself with the help of a carbon MS, and spawning in at the northeast of the map this time, where I was immediately greeted with another explorer note. But I wanted to get started up here, as I punched a tree for wooden thatch, collected a stone before punching a dodo to knock it out, and it only makes sense for a dodo to be my first tame. I got berries for it and crafted a pickaxe and soon tamed my first dino, and unlocked my first of the 32 achievements. I also wanted to keep the tames alive, which was going to be difficult as this Allosaurus was raging nearby on the same beach that my dodo was on. I got far enough away and hit a rock to get flint to make a hatchet before setting up a very basic starter base with a foundation, storage and a campfire. With the Allo now far away, I had a new problem to face.
Oh, hello.
The Rex somehow managed to already aggro onto another creature as I was able to escape, and then I got some fibre to make a raft, which then allowed me to sail over to the northeastern island, where I hoped to get crystal for a spyglass. I clearly misremembered, as inside there was no crystal, so I sailed back to the mainland and ran up the mountain where I knew 100% there would be some, but actually getting to the top wasn't so easy.
This isn't good.
So instead I spawned in the southeast and made my way into the entrance of the lava cave, where there would be some crystal waiting for me. Outside I killed a dodo for hide so I could finally make my spyglass, which would help me find all the creatures that I needed to tame, and it helped me find this level 20 parasaur, which I tamed next. However, it was too quick for me to hit as this dino ran up to me. So I changed targets to taming that. I knocked it out and then used a bowler to trap the parasaur and knock that one out as well. The dino tamed not too long later, and whilst waiting for the parasaur, a little monkey walked up, so I began passive taming that too. The parasaur was the first to tame, followed by the monkey. With my new parasaur, I saddled it up and began farming berries so that I could begin making narcotics with the raw meat that I was wanting to spoil, which would allow me to begin taming creatures with a higher torpor. I managed to get 80 pieces of spoiled meat and began to make as many narcotics as possible, and whilst they crafted, I popped into the lava cave once more to kill some spiders with a bow and arrow so I could get chitin, a really important resource in the early game. The narcotics had finished crafting, so I was able to go turn them into trank arrows as I set off to go find a PT to tame. But before finding one, I stumbled into a Lystro, which is another creature that I needed to tame. So I tamed it as well as this stuck Tapejara, at least I thought it was stuck.
I'm free!
Then some raptors chased me, but with one being a level 5, I knocked it out. Whilst it tamed, a Phiomia stumbled up, and you know the drill, I tamed it. I made my way towards a river where I spotted an otter, and with fish nearby it was a good opportunity to tame it. I finally found a group of PTs, but unfortunately a terror bird found me. So I bowled it, knocked it out. I also spotted a level 80 PT, which was more than good enough for me, and got this Megaloceros knocked out as well. However, that didn't last too long as a Baryonyx ate both of them. But the ARK gods gave me a gift, a level 125 PT flying around. So I bowled it and got it far enough away from the Baryonyx. My terror bird soon tamed, but only just as it had 5 torpor left. With the PT taking so long to tame, I killed a parasaur to get prime meat to hurry up the tame. I spent the rest of the time taming a Carbonemus and a Bilzabufo, which were nearby. However, in doing so, I lost the PT to something again, so I had to find another, a level 60, which wasn't great, but it was all I could find, so I knocked it out to begin taming it. Soon later, the Bilzabufo finished up taming, but then a Microraptor began attacking the PT, so I used this opportunity to knock it out and tame that too. So I then had to kill another Parasaur to get more prime meat to find that the Microraptor had awoken and was killing the PT. I got it away and the PT only had 2.2 health left. I have never known taming PTs to be this hard. Then a group of compies walked over, and with them needing prime meat to tame, and me having some on me, I figured I may as well as tame one. I then spotted my Carbo finished taming over in the distance and found another Microraptor to bowler knockout, which tamed up really quickly as well, and so did my level 64 PT with its 22 health. But at least I finally had a flyer. With it being so low leveled, I needed to get it some levels quickly, so I killed 2 birds with 1 stone and got some explorer notes as I needed them eventually, and they'll help level my PT. And one thing I could now do was return to my dodo, who I tamed very early on, and collect him, as he had actually managed to survive this entire time. I made my way over with my tames to the hidden lake and began to set up a base there, but that base didn't last too long. So I had to rebuild it with stone, as a Therizino can't destroy that. But something that was decent was this level 140 Dimorphodon, which was a pretty good dino to tame and was one on the checklist. So I knocked it out, and whilst it tamed, I got some forges placed and went up to the mountains to get metal to fill them. First thing I did was made a smithy and use it to get some more metal tools, and used them as I went back up to the mountain to get even more metal, which I then used to make myself a crossbow. Up at the mountain I spotted a Giga, but I wasn't here to tame it. But I will eventually return to tame it, as I will need it down the line. What I was after was this level 85 Argentavis, so I placed down some wooden gates, got it to fly in and placed the gate to secure it in, and then began shooting it with some trank arrows. With the RG knocked out, I then spotted Apache Rhino nearby, so I got that down as well. To feed the RG, I had to kill another RG for raw prime meat, which I've now just realised is cannibalism at its finest. Whilst both tamed, I sprinted back to base to make an RG saddle, and the Apache was the first of the 2 to tame, but the RG was the more important one, with its weight reduction ability meaning I could get a lot more metal now on my metal trips. So I farmed some, and it allowed me to pick up medium-sized creatures too, who I could take back to base, where I could tame it, like this Doedicurus that I picked up. And with it taming, I went into the snow for my very first time to get its counterpart, the Anki, so that I could have the stone farmer and the metal farmer. The first decent one I found was a level 75, who I scooped up and brought to base just as the Doedic finished taming. I then knocked out the Anki and also got this trike as it was wandering around near base, and I hadn't tamed one just yet. And whilst those 2 tamed, I took my newly tamed Doedicurus out to do some stone farming. To finish the set of farming tames, I flew to the nearby beaver dam and picked up a Casteroids, flying it back to base and getting it knocked out. And with the Anki tame finished, I took it to the mountains to get a good supply of metal. And as the metal smelted, I headed back to the snow, where I saw and knocked out a level 150 Sabertooth. However, it fell unconscious in the water, but luckily it didn't drown. And with me being in the snow, I got another creature as well, a Megaloceros. I cried both of them up and then returned to base, where nearby I spotted a Moschops, so I tamed that up too. I then upgraded and expanded my base with some stone I got from the Doedicurus not too long ago, and took the trike out to get narco berries so that I could make a ton more narcotics, and I'd need them as my next tame was a Brontosaurus, albeit a level 10. After a lot of arrows, the Bronto was down, and with it taking so long to tame, I moved on to getting another dino, a low level Stegosaurus, and then this Kentro, which wasn't in the safest area. Next I got a Carno knocked out and then picked up both the Stego and Bronto who had finished taming. I then even managed to knock out a low level Spino while sat on top of this rock, but sadly I was then able to see that the Kentro had been killed, so I would need to knock out another one another time. But instead I went to Carno Island and found and tamed myself a Scorpion, followed by looting this red drop which had a pretty nice long neck rifle in it, and on my way back to base I killed some jellyfish to get biotoxin, so I could make the shocking darts, as these are the best for taming and will go quite nicely with my new long neck. But before I could do that, I flew to the mountain to steal a Hyaenodon and brought it back to base, where I quite easily tamed it. Next I got a fabricator made and took my Anki out to get flint and stone so I could start making those shocking darts. I also took my Anki out to the mountain to farm up some obsidian, and with the materials I'd gotten with the Anki I was able to get some simple rifle ammo made and turned into trank darts, but I wasn't a high enough level yet for shocking darts, so I have to wait to get them. So in order to get my level up to 96, I flew around getting some explorer notes on my RG and quickly unlocked the shocking trank dart, so I was finally able to make some. So I immediately went out and used them as I knocked out a level 10 Allosaurus, and then this RG as it had quite good stats. The Allo tamed up, and then I found a jackpot. A Tapejara, which was stuck in some rocks, which was great as these guys normally fly away as soon as you get close. so it made knocking it out the easiest tame so far. Next was a level 140 iguanodon and then a dire bear, and I also began taming a big monkey, the Gigantopithecus, and a Diplodocus, and then I went back to the knockouts as I got this Megatherium down, and being in the swamp I decided to tick off a bunch of the swampy creatures, like the Parasa, a Sarco, a Capro, and a Dimetrodon, and by doing all of this it allowed enough time to pass for all those earlier creatures to tame up as I picked up my monkey, but caught the Iguanodon in a fight with a Spino, which I now needed to rescue, but luckily the Iguanodon is quite smart and it will run away at a low HP, so I was able to kill the Spino as my Iguanodon ran to safety with just 70 HP left. I also hoped that my long neck could one-hit a galley, however it ran away into water, got chased by a Carno, and died. So I went and found a lower level Gallimimus, which I got down in one hit and could tame. Whilst I waited, I got the Diplo finished and knocked out a Palovia that I had spotted, and then tamed a Pego before picking up the Gallimimus, which had now finished taming, and not long later the Palovia did as well. My next target was a Pachyrhinosaurus, which I wouldn't see again as I forgot about its high torpor drain, so it woke up and wandered off. So instead I got this Archaeopteryx down, which was a nice quick tame. I then called it quits for taming just for now as I picked up my tamed RG, which had quite a few better stats than my current one, so I started to level that up by killing an Alpha Raptor to get a whopping 28 levels on my RG and some better tools. I was also wanting to work towards a chemistry bench, so started that process by farming a bunch of metal with my Anki, which also helped restock the darts that I'd been using, and I needed them as I headed into the snow to tick off the snowy creatures, as I started with a direwolf, a mammoth, a Daeodon, a woolly rhino, and a Yeti. With them all knocked out, I just had to ram them all up as they finished taming. Once back at base, I figured it was time to start upgrading my armour, as I made some flak and some scuba as I needed to make a start on the water tames. So I started with this low level Megalodon, and I also got this Ichthyosaurus done as well. I brought a saddle with me so I was able to go swimming with it, which helped a lot as I got a Plesio knocked out and an anglerfish. The Plesio tamed and picked a fight with a Megalodon, and I collected the Megalodon from earlier that had also finished taming, and then the anglerfish, which is a really good tame actually, as these guys farm a boatload of silica pearls, as I got 2k from it from just a few pearls. I did spot a Tuso, but I wasn't in a position to tame it, so it was just nice to know where it was. I did then find a secret cave where inside was an explorer note, which I was going to need to find eventually, so this will save some time. My next tame needed a bit of preparation, as I killed an anglerfish to get some angler gel, but then I found a Pelagornis, so I had to get that too. Now I thought they would land on water when knocked down, but they don't. Instead they sink to the bottom of the ocean and drown, as I watched on helplessly. So instead I went and knocked out this Dunkleosteus and tamed it, and used the angler gel I'd got recently to tame a Manta, and also passive tame myself a Basilo, and I finished off my water journey by getting the big but low leveled Mosa down and tamed. Before I headed back to base with all my new water tames, back on land though I got myself over to the swamp and tamed a Diplocaulus, which was pretty easy, before killing a Rhiniognathus to get the pheromone, which I'll need later when I think about taming it. Nearby was a really good level Baryonyx, which I needed to tame, but with it being such a good level and a great caving creature, this was a must tame, so I knocked it out. To tame it, I needed a sickle to farm raw prime fish meat from a saber-toothed salmon, and not too long later, it was tamed. But on my way back to base, I found something even better. A level 125 female Rex, with 20 points in melee, and that was good enough for boss fighting. So I killed its partner so it wouldn't have the mate boost, and then got it knocked out with some shots from my long neck. With it down, I went and got myself a Kentro, as of course the first one I had died. So it was nice that it was in a much safer place this time. The Rex surprisingly was the first to tame, but sadly it only got 4 extra points into melee, and soon after my Kentro finished up taming too. With that Baryonyx I tamed, I took it out to do my very first cave, the Carno Island cave, which was going well, until it wasn't.
Oh no. Down the trenches.
Thankfully this Barry was a bit of a beast and dealt with it all, as I was easily able to collect my first artifact, There was also this sleeping Megalosaurus, who was an easy knockout. Whilst it tamed, I used the otter's unique feature of being the only creature to carry more than one artifact, so that allowed me to collect a second, which would save me a trip down in the future. There was also a Megalania in this cave, so I got that tamed too, and a dung beetle, who I passive tamed. Oddly though, the Megalosaurus had gained consciousness, despite it not running out of torpor, so I can only assume that it woke up as it was daytime. I then managed to snag myself a third artifact as it had respawned, and then both dinosaurs tamed up. Back at base, I was wanting to get myself a chemistry bench as it makes the whole process of getting tranks darts much easier and quicker, but I was quite a few materials off getting it. A quick trip my Anki got most of the materials as all I needed now was spark powder, but luckily I had a bunch being made with the gunpowder I was producing already, so I was able to quickly get the chemistry bench made, and straight away I was using it to get a bunch more gunpowder made. Whilst they crafted, I made my way over to Carne Island again as a sort of red drop, but even better than that, I saw an Alpha Rex. I somehow managed to get it stuck in a rock where it couldn't hit me, but I could hit it. And after quite a while, I scooped up this Explorer note and finished the job, which earned me 15 levels on my RG and got my character up to the max level 105. But not only that, I also found a level 145 Rex with insanely good melee stats, so I had to knock it out. I got some food from an Alpha Raptor, and after a while it tamed with 34 melee. My one issue now was that both my Rexes were female, so I still needed to go get a male. But instead of addressing that, I did my next cave, the Central Cave, one of the easier ones on the island. Inside, I collected a few Explorer notes and quickly got the artifact and got out and made my way to the next cave, the Lower South. And once again, another easy cave, with only low level creatures spawning inside, which were easily killed as I collected my next artifact. I also got the Explorer notes from inside and used this opportunity of finding an Arthropleura underwater where they can't attack you and passive tamed it using a piece of spoiled meat. I also killed some Megalania to get their toxin, as these will become very important when I start summoning in the beta and alpha bosses. I continued my caving adventures by doing a lava cave, which is a bit more difficult with the sheer amount of bats, spiders and scorpions, but with a decent leveled baryonyx it wasn't too bad. In fact, the hardest part of it is possibly these jumps over lava, where I have failed many times before, but with a bit of patience and skill I made it over successfully and collected not one but 2 artifacts of the massive. Back at base, an Oviraptor was busy wandering around, so I knocked it out with one shot, and these guys eat eggs to tame, and I had been busy breeding my Argies in the background, so I had a few spare eggs to use, but it wasn't enough as it ate the last egg and didn't tame, and was now slowly losing its taming effectiveness, and by the time I got my next egg it was down to a third, so I needed to wait and try all over again once I had enough eggs. So I went out and got a few female dodos to help with that process. I kept the Oviraptor asleep with some narcotics, and after a while I was able to use all the eggs I'd collected to finally tame it. My next goal was getting some shotgun ammo made for a pump shotgun that I'd crafted, as there was 1 or 2 caves that I needed to do on foot and needed the protection, and I'd need it for the northwest cave in the snow, which I was going to do next. Inside there is normally quite a few bats and spiders, but most seem to be stuck behind the walls, which was lucky for me. But there were quite a few unstuck near the artifact as I ran into a few bats and spiders, and it got worse when one of them gave me mega rabies. So I quickly ran out, placed a sleeping bag and let myself die. When I returned, I found the cave was now empty and I could easily collect the artifact. By using the K camera mode, I saw that all the bats was now stuck outside the cave, which is helpful I guess. I took the artifact back to base and stored it in my chest of goodies before doing another metal run with my Anki on a different mountain. Some of that metal was going to be spent on a greenhouse, as I needed to start getting some crops grown as they were used to tame quite a few creatures. With the glass placed, I whacked down a few crop plots and then force fed my Phiomia stimberries to get feces, which I would use as fertiliser. And I finally set up water from the nearby pond so the plants could actually grow. With the plants needing time to grow, I went out and found an Alpha Carno to kill, as I'd need it for the Beta Overseer boss fight. I also wanted to search for that male Rex I needed, and I also got some Therizino claws as I'll need them eventually as well, but it was that elusive male Rex with a good level that was evading me, as I was only finding trash and therefore killing the trash so that hopefully a good one would spawn. One creature I did find was another patchy rhino, as I still needed to tame one after the last one had woke up. As it tamed, I killed this herd of Brontos for their vertebrae, and finally the patchy rhino was done. I then went back to searching for a Rex, but luck was just not on my side as I didn't find a single one worthy of being tamed. Back at base the following morning, I collected a good amount of crops that had now grown and made a refrigerator to store them in, as the spool time on them is super quick. After spending a good day going AFK whilst the Rexes respawned around the map, I found one on Kano Island, and it was a level 140 with good HP, but it wasn't a male. There was a male right next to it though, and it was level 25. But I'd given up searching for a good male as I decided to knock this one out, followed by that level 140 female. The male tamed and I didn't care about its stats as I would just use the stats from the females, and then the female one tamed up with 33 points into HP, which was pretty good. I then got all the Rexes back to base and began breeding them to try and get one of the female stats onto a male, so I could then breed that with the other female. So as they bred, I popped over to the snow biome to tame myself a Kairuku and kill all of its brothers and sisters to get organic polymer, with it being used to make an egg incubator, which would allow me to see the stats before the egg hatches. And lucky for me, I managed to get that male in the very first egg. So I hatched it, threw it out and waited for it to grow up so I could start breeding it with the other good female to get all the good stats onto one Rex. But it was taking quite a while that I ended up going out and placing a sap collector, as I'll need these later on. I also made a little ramp up to this tree so that I could use my dire bear to collect honey, which I would need for the sweet veggie cakes, as I made a few of these back at base. One of the creatures that needed this to tame is the Achatina, one of which I found in the swamp, so I quickly tamed it. The other creature was an Ovis, a nice easy passive tame. The next tame I got was a horse, which using some carrots that I'd grown too, was a quickly tamed. The next set of creatures that I wanted to tame needed bug repellent, so I quickly made some and a set of ghillie, but before finding the creatures I needed to get, I found this rather insane yellow drop with an incredible flak leggings blueprint inside. Next I found the cave I wanted to enter and found the creatures I wanted to tame, a spider. However, it wasn't in the best place. As I tried to tame it, everything aggroed. So I found another in a better place and slowly passive tamed it. On my way out I killed a couple Megalania to get their toxin, although I did get some mega rabies in a trade. Once I recovered, I made my way to the lava cave and began passive taming an onyx, which I soon got done. Outside the cave was an opportunity to get another tame done. I killed it though. There was another one which I got, but it landed just under the water and drowned. But there was a third, which I knocked out and didn't kill, but it kept flying and landed back in the water. But thankfully, a little bit further down the beach, there were a couple more, and I was finally able to get one of them knocked down and not above the water. Even further up the beach was the Ichthyornis' bigger brother, the Pelagonus, who I got down easily and tamed too. Sticking with the theme of birds, I got the smaller cousin, the Hesperornis, which is quite an annoying tame as it requires so many fish to tame.
Slow down! Slow down! Come on, you want to be fed. Finally, let's go! That's another one ticked off.
Back at base, I had a few Rex eggs waiting for me, so I checked out their stats and was looking for any females with the correct stats and same level, as it's easier for mutation hunting, and found 2 level 209s. As they grew up, I checked out what I needed to make beer so that I could tame a Chalico. I needed something called Bingleberry, which I've never heard of. It turns out that it's just Tinterberries, but they've not called it that. And whilst they crafted, I went on another metal run with my Mankey and returned with a small amount of 14,600 metal, which hopefully should do me for the rest of the video. With the Rexes still breeding, I decided to do my next cave, but first stopped at this pretty good yellow drop. The cave I was doing was the Swamp Cave, as I'd brought my scuba gear with me and a Megatherium, as with the bug buff, these guys are insane in this cave, and it made the cave a piece of cake, as you can see as soon as I collected the artifact of the immune. Once home, I had more Rex eggs waiting and a bunch of female Rexes waiting to be hatched. as I then threw them out in a line and let them grow up. But not wanting to waste any time, I prepared for my next tame as I saddled up my Moser and Carbonemus and headed into the water. My first stop was to kill a Eutropids for black pearls, and I also killed an alpha meg that I ran into. I then killed some jellyfish to get biotoxin, which would allow me to tame the first creature, an eel. But then I found the water creature I was really after, a Tusoteuthus. I had brought the Carbo to use as a tame, but figured I could just use the Moser as I hopped off, fed it black pearls and tamed it. Once I got back to base, the Rexes had finished growing, so I was able to start mutation grind, looking for any Rex that was level 211. Whilst they bred, I set up some ACs and a place to kill all the babies, as I hatched the first lot and instantly got a double melee mutation, but it was on a female. There was also a male with a health mutation, which I kept too. So I then killed the remaining Rexes and waited for those two to grow up, and once they were grown up I bred the female to a non-mutated male to get the stats onto a male, which I managed to do first try. I then bred the male with a non-mutated female to get the health on a female, which I've now only just realised was absolutely useless, as I could have just bred the two Rexes who were born with the stats, as the only thing I'd now done is just swap what gender the mutations were on. So I then continued breeding to get all the stats onto one male. Luckily it didn't take long to get all the stats onto it, as I got it first try again, and as it hatched and grew up I went out to do another cave, the hardest East Water Cave. Well, it can be hard with how many creatures it has inside, but with a quick dolphin you can easily swim past all of them, as I lured them all to the end of the cave and hopped off, as there were actually a couple explorer notes down here that I needed to get. I soon hopped back onto my dolphin and went into this little hidey hole on the side and towards the artifact. The main concern is eels, as they'll stun you and slow you down and then everything else will kill you. But luckily none of them had spawned in this part of the cave, so I was able to freely collect the artifact of the cunning and then quickly looted this red drop for some good flak chest pieces and made my way out the cave. The mutated Rex had now grown up, so I was able to continue the mutation grind as I threw out a bunch more eggs, but sadly there were no mutations, so I killed all the babies. After a few rounds of no mutations, I made some beer as it had finished being produced and quickly passive tamed myself a Chalico in the snow. And then I made my way to the redwoods, where I got a Thyla knocked out in one hit and tamed it. Next up I went to the swamp and used a couple spare Rex eggs to get a Titanoboa tamed, and back at base I made some more bear traps and metal gapes as I wanted to tame that Giga, and I remembered seeing one on this mountain earlier on in the video. However, it was no longer here, so I tried searching another mountain, but it was silent. But there were two more mountains in the snow to be searched, but it appeared that there was just no Giga at all, so I had to return home and search for it another day. With there still being a few caves left I needed to get, I made some grapples and headed out and stopped off at the West Water Cave, which is fairly easy until you see an Alpha Moser just chilling there. But thankfully it didn't want a piece of me, as I got the artifact and made my way out and headed to the next cave, the Upper South Cave, where I would need the grapples that I had just made, but I would also need my baryonyx, because there is two ways to get the artifact: through the cold water, or just a simple grapple up through this hole in the wall, and then down a small tunnel to where the artifact rests. With another one collected, I popped back to base to continue the mutations and got one instantly, another melee. So as that grew up, I grabbed some honey from the fridge and swam into the ocean looking for a Liopleurodon. They are quite rare, so instead I found this rock structure which you can actually enter, and inside there is an explorer note, and as I need to get these eventually, so I may as well get this one now. But it wasn't long after that I found the Liopleurodon and tamed him with a single piece of honey. I started work on my next tame by making grapples and a parachute and then hunting down a Quetzal, but I didn't find one. So I returned back to base the next day, where I worked on getting that mutated female stats onto a male, and then began searching for more mutations. But with those starting to dry up, I hatched a couple babies who I would keep, as I'd found a Carcharodontosaurus in the snow, and Rex babies are the best way to tame it. I got it to feed on the Rex despite it being in a really awkward place, and soon after I finished taming it. I moved on to my next tame by destroying a beehive to get the queen bee to come out. as I ran up to it, quickly tamed her, and then I found myself a Quetzal who I was able to knock out rather quickly with my long neck and doing a bit of headshot damage, all whilst doing the parachute archery technique. It tamed and I found my next dino, a Procoptodon, chilling on the mountain. It went down with one shot as I then farmed crystal to get rare mushrooms and tamed it. As I made my way back home, I spotted a pack of Troodons, with one being a level 15, so I picked it up, brought it home and tamed it later that day. As I waited for night, I looked for more mutated Rexes and got another point into melee, now totaling 44 points. But with it nighttime now, I collected a few baby Rexes, got one's health down super low and brought it over to that Troodon that I had brought home with me, and tamed it quite easily to be honest, despite it being one of the more difficult tames in ARK. I had also gotten that 44 melee Rex stats onto a male, let it grow up, as I then searched and found a level 105 Rhino Nagtha, but more importantly it was a female, so I attacked it with my Rex until it was low, popped the pheromone and my Rex was soon impregnated. I also then managed to get my Rex back to base before it hatched.
Goodbye, Rex. Hello.
And then I went back to more mutation hunting as it grew up. I did hatch and grow one more Rex as I needed it for the final cave, the Ice Cave. I leveled it up by killing some more baby Rexes and then flew over to the cave entrance, entered, and this cave did need a Rex, with polar bears that do a lot of damage, yetis with super high health, and then all the direwolves and purlovias. It was going to be tough.
What was the yellow drop over there? Ooh, long neck rifle. It's not better than one I've got already though. Oh, drop. It's not great. Nice, that's the cave done. Well, apart from that direwolf there, he doesn't want to die. Sweet. Personally retrieved all artifacts.
Getting out the cave is much easier. Well, as long as the purlovias haven't respawned. With the final artifact collected, I returned to base, but left soon after to go tame a Giga that I'd spotted up on the mountain. So I placed the bear trap and metal gates, lured the Giga in and secured a gate in behind it before knocking it out and taming it. I also got a Therizino out as I was hoping to find a good level one so that I could potentially use them to fight the dragon boss, but I never found that good level, so I had to settle for a terrible one. And I would just try and use my Rexes against the dragon, which probably won't go well. My next stop was at the tree saps that I had placed, as I got 300 sap which can be used with the Rhino to slow creatures down, and if you fill all the dots you can temporarily stun it. And I thought that would be a genius way of taming the Titanosaur. So back at base I made the Quetzal platform and a couple cannons and cannonballs. I placed the cannons on the back of the platform and headed out to go tame myself the Titanosaur. First I had to freeze it with the Rhino and then get on my Quetz and shoot it, but I was starting to find out by the time that I'd loaded the cannons and got on the Quetzal and into position, the Titanosaur had gotten out and began moving again. Or if I managed to time it well, I would just miss as I was rushing it, and by the time I got a successful hit, my Quetz got scared by a tiny fly and flew off. I managed to get a few good hits, or at least what I thought were good, but as it turned out I wasn't doing any torpor and realised how difficult this was. So I conceded and returned to base and instead began raising my boss Rex fighting army, and also started the process of levelling them up too. And this took me days, but once they were all done, they needed time to heal. So I let them do that as I went out on my Carcharodontosaurus killing to get raw meat to make sure that they wouldn't starve. My Carcha was simply terrible though, and it didn't get much, but it was enough to start healing the Rexes myself with a Daedon. But after a day or so of healing, I got bored. The Rexes had over 20k health and I thought that would be good enough for at least one of the Gamma boss fights. So I flew them all over to the green obelisk and got the Rexes ready, threw the artifacts in the obelisk and summoned in the Gamma Broodmother.
Go guys, go! Right, get some courage. In you go. Put some of you around. Piece of cake. Who got it? Boss Rex 3. This one. Nice. Boss Rex 3. Oh, I got it on me. Nice.
With it going down so quickly, and the Rexes still being at the obelisk, I flew back to base, picked up my baryonyx and flew to the central cave to take it down and collect the artifact once more. I then moved over to the lower south cave and collected that artifact too, and got the third from the lava cave. Finally, I had all the tributes such as Sarco skins and Titanoboa venom, and was able to take on the beta broodmother.
Go guys, get it! Get it! Oh, it's got 600k, that's a lot. Go on, damage, damage! Sweet!
Once it was over, I quickly got to the central cave artifact again and attempted the alpha.
UT? Right, roar. Give that courage. And it's coming. Guys, get it! Get it! Come on, guys. Halfway health. Ooh, some of these are weak. I think we should be good. Come on. Nice. Alright, let's get these cried up.
Back at base, I collected 3 artifacts, equipped some fur armor, and flew over to the blue obelisk, where I threw my Rexes out and summoned in the Gamma Monkey.
Hello. Get him. Should be over pretty quick, this one. Sweet.
As quickly as that was over, I was in the water again, getting another artifact as I had the other 2 already. I then got some more tributes like Spino Sails and Thyla Claws and summoned in the Beta Monkey.
Right, you guys over there need to watch out for the death pit. Hello. Sweet, that was easy enough.
Next, I collected some more tributes, followed by 2 more artifacts as I had the 3rd one already, and it was time for the Alpha Monkey.
Alpha Megapithecus, bring it on. Hello. It's quick. Sweet.
As I already had everything, I quickly moved over to the red obelisk to summon in the Gamma Dragon.
Is it landing? No, it's not. My otter! Oh, that was almost bad. Go on, one go. Sweet.
The Gamma Dragon was down easily, but before beta I had to collect more tributes like UT Youngs, Aloe Brains, Basilo Blubber and Tuso Tentacles. I also got an Alpha Lead Sickness as I'll need to get this eventually. The last tribute was a Giga Harp, which I managed to solo with one of my Rexes. With the tributes done, I needed the artifacts as I got the Eastern Water Cave, Swamp Cave and Hard Snow Cave, where I was also getting a pretty good red drop.
Ooh, I'll take that.
And lastly, the Easy Snow Cave. At base I made sniper bullets for my new sniper and then summoned in the Beta Dragon.
Run. Run! Get him, guys. Run away because I don't want to get caught on fire. Oh, wow, some of them are weak already. Come on. Sweet work.
Realising I would need better Rexes for the alpha, I began doing some drop looting, and the first thing I found was an Ascendant pump shotgun, which was pretty good. Next I had to redo all the caves again, as I'd done the easy snow, hard snow, and whilst doing the swamp cave I found the jackpot. In a drop I found a Rex saddle blueprint, which had 147 armour. But it was rather expensive. I got the Swamp Cave artifact and then finished up the set by getting the Hard Water Cave one as well. Before making either of those BPs, I had to do some farming by getting obsidian and then metal. The obsidian was turned into polymer, and as that crafted I got black pearls by killing eutropids in the water. All these materials were used to make a tech replicator, which I then used to make more polymer, and finally that shotgun, using the blueprint I found. With the shotty made, I began working on the Rex saddles by first getting a Ferrozino saddle and farming up literally thousands of fibre, and that I needed, and then switching over to a Rex to begin wiping out the local ecosystem in order to get their hide, and with this trip getting me 19,000 of it. But that wasn't enough. So I made a chainsaw and was now getting over 4,000 hide per Bronto, and the final material I needed was metal. And after waiting a while for all the metal I had smelted, I was able to make 18 of those Rex saddles, and then I had to equip them all. But I still needed to do a few more things before taking on the dragon again, and the first was I needed a Giga. I needed it for its heart tribute, but I also needed a second one this time, as that was the final tribute I needed for the dragon. And with all tributes now ready, I got the Rexes ready at the red obelisk and summoned in the alpha dragon.
Oh, this is gonna be tough. It's gonna be very tough. Oh, Yuti! Yo. Wait, no. No, don't fight in the water. Oh, no. Come on, guys. Let's do it. Let's do it. Good damage. Good damage. Ow. How did I get hit? Wait, if I stand by the back, will it hit me? Wait, some of these aren't even getting hit. Oh, that one's hit. Oh my god, we're melting! Come on. This is insane! This is insane! Oh my... What? Right, cry these up. I'm not losing any. Oh my... Why was that... Why did that go so well? Let's look at their health. Didn't get hit. They got hit quite bad. Bad. Okay. Didn't get hit. Didn't get hit. Didn't get hit. Didn't get hit. No, it did. So many of these didn't get hit. That is insane. And with the dragon defeated, I'd finished all 3 bosses on all 3 difficulties, and now my preparation changed to focusing on the Overseer, which I had to do on all 3 difficulties as well, but I didn't need to do any preparation for Gamma, so instead I flew over to the volcano, threw out the Rexes, which still had a good enough health left, and summoned in the Gamma Tech Cave and entered. And the cave started off amazingly, as I avoided losing my mind as all the Rexes entered normally. The cave itself was fairly easy, as I rode a Rex that done all the damage whilst a Yuti was following behind, giving me courage. But at the end of the cave, a little surprise was waiting. Oh, there is a Giga. Didn't think one spawned on Gamma. I think I'm gonna go get some other Rexes to come down and fight it. It's quite a high level. No, 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 no. You imbecile. I've lost one. I've saved it though. Alright, well, I think they're all here. Let's go get the others. What? Oh. You've got to be kidding. Wasn't even stuck on anything. Can I get the you to stay here? Don't want that getting close. Alright guys. We will fight for our lives. No, 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 no. I will solo this big beast, but you're not going into that lava. Piece of cake. Right. Time to go to the cold armor. Let's go, guys. Right, guys, up here.
Before entering the Overseer arena, there were a couple explorer notes which I needed to collect.
Hello there, sir. Alright guys, everyone go there. No, closer. Go and have some courage. When you're on neutral, wish I could whistle aggressive, but you can't. Get it! Nice. Right, where's it going first? Get it! Alright, so 130k, it should go quickly. Get the explorer out here. Sweet! Get it! Get it! Guys, get it! Oh, you frauds. I'm gonna have to get it. Uh-oh. Get it, guys, get it. Get the monkey. Where's he gonna go for me? Have some courage, guys. Sweet, good work. Good work, fellas. This way, boys. It's there, guys, get it. Nice work. Let's go! GG guys, I've already got that Explorer Knight. I'll take a free piece of element.
We're going to see this cutscene quite a few more times, so let's not watch it just yet. With the game spawning me on the main screen, I had to re-download my character, but I had lost some stuff that was on me. But I did get this cool Dodo Rex mask, so it's a fair trade. Once back at base, I collected the beta tributes and the few alpha ones that I needed and made some shotgun ammo and sniper ammo and flew over to the volcano where I had brought a few more Rexes with me as obviously the difficulty was going up.
Beta! That's not something I've considered. How am I going to get the UT to the front? Alright, well, they are all in, nonetheless. Right, let's start killing. Uh-oh. Just tank it. Right, I guess this will be our holding point. Let's go get the Rexes. Oh, we're down. We're down, we're down, we're down, we're down. Where's the Giga? Alright, no, guys, don't attack it if you can't hit it. Oh, Rex has fallen. Right, stay there, Rex, I can save you. Oh, there's a Giga. Get it. Sweet, good work, Rexes. Alright, I got you. I got you. It's going to take some damage here, but hopefully not too much. You get out. Yeah, saved you, boy. Bring it on, Beta Overseer. Alright, get in there, guys. Get in there. Get in there. Wait, actually, I can protect myself from hiding in the invisibility bit. Yes, there we go. Get it. Come on, have more. Good work, good work. Right over there, boys and girls. Get it. You have some coverage. How much health does it have? 150k, that's like 30k more, I think, than Gamma. Good work. Alright, let's just stay in here so the drones can't hit me. Go on, if they got it? Oh, they got it. Nice. Who is it? Right, over there, boys. Come on, guys. Over here. Get it. Oh, they're shredding it. They're shredding it. Good work. Get the dragon. Not enough for hitting it. That one there, it's not hitting it. Good work. Go on. Attack. Let's go. GG gang.
Once back on the island, I worked on getting some scuba gear, as for the Alpha Overseer fight I needed to kill a couple creatures in the ocean. The first one I found was an Alpha Moser, and I had planned to get it by using a Rex. I hoped that due to its high damage it could kill the Moser before it ran out of oxygen, and it did.
Let's go!
And then I found the Alpha Tuzo, and I used the same method. And with that, that was the last tribute I needed for the Alpha Overseer.
Ooh. Alright, let's do this. Alpha Tech Cave. Should have enough time to get these all in. Where are you going? Where's it going? Where are you going? Please, Rex. And you're on fire, you absolute imbecile. You really do deserve to die, but I hope you don't die because I need you. Right, Rexes are all in. Ooh, I can kill this Giga. Easy kill. We could test it with this Rex, see where it goes. It should go into the lava. Yeah. Right, let's get the Giga into the lava. Perfect. Oh. I thought the Giga's not even taking damage anymore. Well, how's it surviving in lava? It's a lava Giga. Right, let's get this courage going. Whoa! Didn't even realise they could hit it that quickly. Go on, get it, guys. I built it down already? Nice work. So, dragon first. Okay, that's good. I think. Get the worst one out the way. Come on, team! Let's go! They've smashed it. Right, get it back on it. I'm hiding its cloak. Hiding from you guys. You can't hit me here. Ha! Here we go. Come on, guys. Go, 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 go! Didn't it? Right, let's get it, guys. Get it. Go on, team. Oh, good work. Oh, I'm hearing a lot of hits. Oh, they got it. Nice. Come on, guys. Get the brood mother. How much health has it got? 180. They should be. I think we should be good. Oh, shredded. Guys, remember, stay on it. I think we should get a fourth boss, and it's a random one between all three. Rather, it's not a dragon, but I think we should be able to survive. It is a dragon. It's transforming. It's a dragon. Oh, no. Oh, it's only got 60k health, dragon. I think we should be good. Ow. Oh, my God, this might die. Guys, get on it. Let's go! Alpha is defeated! Alright, all the bosses are defeated. Now we just need to get the tames and the explorer notes. Otter, I love you, Mum. And I've ascended off the ARK at Alpha level. That's another achievement done. Just need to now find a unicorn and a titanosaur.
With just those two creatures left to tame, I immediately got back to work as soon as I spawned in on the island and got the obsidian and began making cementing paste to allow me to craft a mech, which should help tame me the titanosaur. I'd also had to make this attachment and a bunch of rockets for it, and off I went to go find one.
Oh, titanosaur. Good shot, good shot. Good shot. Good shot. That's not a good shot. It is. And it's down. Let's go. I was exploring now. Sweet.
With the Titanosaur tamed, I had one creature left, and it was time to go find the unicorn, which is easier said than done.
Oh. Finally found it. Finally. Alright, let's go get the carrots.
So I flew back to base with the unicorn, picked up some carrots and then tamed it, and that was the last creature on the island done. But I found it odd that I didn't get the achievement for it, so I now had the fun job of collecting every explorer note. So I started with the creature dossiers, and there was still a bunch to get, and it's not really the best content either, well, until I needed to go into the caves and then this happened. But I recovered, got the final dossier, the raptor one. However, the dossiers were now saying that I hadn't yet tamed a Dimetrodon.
Dimetrodon.
So I went and got one, and that was the final tame I needed.
Master Zoologist, let's go.
So with all the creature dossiers done and dinos tamed, I moved on to Helena's notes. Once they were done, I started and finished Rockwell's notes. Next, I got the achievement by standing on top of the volcano and then completed both Yin's and Nerva's notes, but I didn't unlock the 100% Explorer note achievement.
This is the last one. What?
I then remembered I needed another 4 times Explorer note, but that didn't unlock the achievement either. But it turned out that there was actually a hidden set of notes that I needed to find, and I've never seen these before. To get them, I needed to first turn on the default survivor items, kill myself, and I'd have HLNA's skin, but that didn't work. And that was because I was forgetting something.
Right, I've downloaded Genesis and I've finally got this mini HLNA stuff, which apparently is meant to light up here. Oh.
These Explorer notes were really weird, as there was never a visual object to find, and I just had to trust the coordinates I was given online.
Apparently it's around here. Oh, I think we've done it. Nice! 100% of Explorer notes, that is the island done. Right, let's move on.
But before moving to the next map, I had one last thing that I needed to do.
Swamp fever cured, and I've done it. Let's go, the island is done.
I quickly made shotgun ammo and sniper ammo at base and uploaded all my gear, a kangaroo, dolphin, rexes and a rhino to the obelisk, and spawned in on the centre. Once I was there, I got to an obelisk and began downloading all my items, and headed out to go find my first artifact. I've never really played the centre, so I'm not sure the name of the things, but this was the first cave I went into. I used my kangaroo to make a few jumps and collected the artifact of the pack. The next cave was over on Volcano Island, and with a kangaroo it is quite easy, as you can just skip past all the hostiles and collect the artifact of the massive. Once again, the next cave was on Volcano Island and was through this tiny little entrance. Inside I had to use my Rex, as there were quite a few creatures, but I had been smart in bringing a few grapples which allow me to get over to the artifact and collect it. In complete contrast to the volcano caves, the next one was in the snow. This cave started with a water section which I had to swim through, and that led into a room full of saber-tooths, Bigfoots and bears, but just after that was the artifact. However, this cave actually had a second one, but to reach it I had to go back through the water section and to the other side of the cave, into another massive room which led to a giant drop, but at the bottom of that drop was a short path to the artifact. To get back up the drop, I used some grapples and then swam back through the water and out the cave. Last artifact to collect was super easy, and it was in the ocean, and then it was boss fighting time, as I threw my Rex out at the obelisk and summoned in the Gamma boss. And having rarely ever done this fight, I forgot how easy it was, as my Rexes were doing 6k damage and the Broodmother was shredded. The Megapithecus didn't have the same damage multiplier, but nonetheless it was done quickly, and I'd unlocked the Survivor of the Centre achievement. So with the centre done, I uploaded all my teams and moved over to Scorched Earth, ready to take on the boss and tame all of its creatures. First off, I had to go on a big run to find an obelisk, but with this being Scorched Earth, that wasn't going to be easy, as I was chased by a direwolf pretty soon on. But I managed to find a body of water so I wouldn't die, and the red obelisk, as I was able to download my creatures and items. Not long after setting off from the obelisk, I found a Lamantria, so I got my first Scorched Earth creature knocked out. I was also struggling with the heat, which was to be expected on Scorched Earth, so I needed to look at making some desert cloth armour as I began to farm silk for it, but ran into a level 10 Meredatops which I knocked out. Whilst both creatures tamed, I got myself a little base set up with a fabricator that I'd brought over with me from the island, and a forge so I could smelt this metal rock that I had placed my base by. I checked and the Meredatops had finished taming, so I went and collected it and returned to base where I now had a smithy and finally made some desert cloth armour. And once that was all sorted, I could go now collect my Lamantria. The next tame was this thorny dragon which wandered up to my base, and I followed it up by getting a little baby Jerboa. Next I attempted my first cave as I flew down into the canyons, but Scorched Earth has this weird glitch where the caves just don't have many creatures inside, so I was able to get the artifact quite easily. I left in record time and then flew over to the church cave in the desert. This one had a few more creatures in, but nothing that my sniper rifle couldn't deal with, or my Rex as a matter of fact. With 2 out of the 3 artifacts collected, I flew to the mountains to get the last, and as I was near the desert, I got myself a vulture and then killed a deathworm with a Rex to get the horn and tamed myself a mantis before I made my way into the wyvern trench to look for eggs. I didn't really care for the level, so I took the first I could find and waited for the rest of them to aggro so I could kill them. However, when I tried to make my fast escape, my PT decided otherwise. But thankfully I had brought my rhino with me, so weight wasn't much of an issue for too much longer. Before leaving, I got a poison and a fire wyvern egg and then skedaddled back to base. For the next tame I needed a mech, which I had already uploaded, and with just one shot I was able to knock out the big rock elemental. With all currently available creatures tamed, as I needed a superheat to spawn in the phoenix, so I instead set up my Rexes at the obelisk, but I was short on 2 lightning talons, so off I went to the wyvern trench to go get them.
Right, Gamma Manticore. Alright, everyone get down. And my UT's down. That's not good. Did not see my UT's torpor. Get in. Oh, it's down. Get it. Oh, come back down. Yes. Oh. Get it. Good work, team. Good work. Right, let's get you all up. That's Scorched Earth done. Let's move on to Aberration. Thank you.
That wasn't entirely true though, as I needed to hatch up the wyverns first and wait for a superheat to spawn so I could get myself a phoenix. I eventually got a superheat and began searching the map with my newly raised fire wyvern. It felt as if I had searched every inch of the map and I was starting to lose faith. But then, out of the corner of my eye, I spotted it, a level 35 phoenix. I followed it until the superheat was over and watched it fall into a pile of dust on the floor. My next steps were to place dinosaur gates around it and some thatch floors to fully trap it in, and then waited for another superheat to spawn in.
Oh, superheat, superheat. It's here. Let's get the fire wyvern out. Oh, it's done. Sweet. That is Scorched Earth done.
And with Scorched Earth now 100% complete, I uploaded my character and went back to base on the island before I headed over to Aberration. But before I headed over to Aberration, I had some work that needed to be done, mainly mass producing a heck of a lot of shotgun ammo, and once that was sorted, I made my way to Aberration, where my first goal was to find a drop to download my items, which I found. But I forgot that you can only do this on a server, and I was playing on single player. So to fix this, I stopped recording and then forgot to re-record. What I had done was tame a Megalosaurus and a Bulldog, and I downloaded a mod which gave me a transmitter so that I could get my stuff and set up this little base with metal which was being smelted, and as that happened I went and got some tames done. I started off with a low level 10 Ravager before finding a level 145 Spino which I knocked out, And as that tamed, I farmed honey and tamed a roll rat, and then my Spino finished taming, so I took it out to kill things to level it up. I needed this Spino to take me to the Rock Drake Trench, but for that I needed has gear, and to make that, a gas collector, which would need red gems, so I patiently waited by a roll rat to dig up some.
Oh, red gem, red gem, red gem, please be 20 plus. Yes. Sweet.
I stole them and crafted the gas collector and placed it down. As I waited for it to get some gas balls, I headed into the blue zone to farm blue gems, some of which were used to make a glider, and also made climbing picks. With the collector needing more time to get the gas, I took the Spino out once more to level it up further, and then I began working on getting a Karkinos tamed. And of course I'm going to use the Captain Fat Dog trap, which I think everyone who's played ARK now knows. I made some boulders in the catapult's crafting station, and then I lured this level 20 easily into the trap and killed it. But I tried again on another one nearby and managed to knock it out this time. It tamed up not too long later, and enough time had now passed for the gas balls to produce, so I was able to make some has gear back at base. I had also tamed a bulb dog, which I'd been leveling, so as I equipped the glider, I jumped down and flew towards the red zone and the Rock Drake Trench.
Any eggs? Here's one. Oh, there's a bunch right here. 85. I wouldn't mind a good level. 170. Yes, please. Steed up. This is quite a lot. What level's that? It's 90. Holy, there's so many, they just don't stop. Oh, that's a cool blue one. Oh, this is the parent. Woo! Right, let's heal up.
With the egg secured, I walked up the long path out with the trench, climbed out the red zone and into the blue, and stopped in the green to collect some mushrooms so I could tame myself a shinehorn. I then went further as I flew to the red zone and tamed myself a featherlight, and returned to base after a really successful trip. I placed down a generator and a few ACs and hatched my level 170 Drake, but I'd forgotten to get any red gems to craft the saddle, so I had to leave and fly back over to the red zone to go get some. Once the Drake was grown up, I gave it the saddle and took it instantly back down into the trench to get another egg which I needed to tame the basilisk. Over by the portal I found one, so I dropped the egg on it and watched it tame, and that was another creature ticked off the list. With most creatures done, I need to begin doing the caves, as I started with the green zone cave. With a rock drake though, the caves are super easy as you can just walk past all the creatures and collect the artifact. This applies to the red zone one as well, despite it having so many aggressive creatures inside. But before I attempted the last cave, my rock drake had sensed that there was a reaper nearby, and it was a level 85, so I hopped on my Spino and killed it so I could get the pheromones so that I could tame the next one. I found a level 5 which I used my Spino to get its HP down and waited for it to swing and impregnate me. Before leaving, I killed this Spino to get all the extra levels and then rushed back to base to give birth, claim it, and it then killed me. But soon it matured into a Reaper King. As it continued to mature, I attempted the last cave, which I needed scuba for, as the cave entrance was underwater. Inside the cave there were more underwater tunnels which I used my Drake's invisible mode to bypass all the bad creatures and collect the final artifact. But then I remembered I needed to go back to the first cave in the green zone as there was still a creature I needed to tame there. This little guy, a glowtail. With that being the last creature to get, and having already got the artifacts and collected venom along my way, I summoned in the Gamma Rockwell. The fight itself with a decent shotgun and Rock Drake is fairly easy, as you take down all the tentacles one by one and then begin shooting Rockwell whilst avoiding all the floating balls which do a lot of damage if you walk into them. The challenges come later on, when the nameless begin spawning and the zapping tentacles which can knock you off your tame and quickly end your run, but I avoided all of those and got Rockwell's HP down to below 50%. But then the biggest challenges started spawning, Reaper Kings. But using my Rock Drake camouflage mode, I was able to avoid them and continue to take down the tentacles as I soon later defeated Rockwell.
The last tentacle? Come on, let's get him down. Let's go!
With Aberration done, I went back to the island before I moved to Extinction, as I had some preparing that needed to be done, such as more shotgun ammo and tranks, as there were quite a few knockout tames on Extinction that I needed. But with that all done, I logged on to Extinction and made my way to a city terminal and began downloading all my items that I had brought with me. I immediately flew over to the snow to look for gigas and found a level 10, but I don't want that stinky stuff. So instead I knocked out this level 35 Managma, which is actually the first time I've ever tamed one of these, despite having over 2k hours in the game. With the mana tamed, I got my next creature, a gas bag. Up next I got a snow owl done and dusted, and so too this level 145 Velonosaur. Next I got a scout, and I'm not really sure if these count as tames, but I got it as well as the enforcer. I was now just looking for a good level giga, but none had spawned. So instead I went and summoned in the Desert Titan, which I thought I could take out with just my shotgun, as there were only really one thing I needed to watch out for, the lightning zaps.
Let's get some of these placed down.
I hoped that would be the only time I die to them.
Is that it? Oh, why did I just do a bunch of damage? Sweet!
With the Desert Titan down, I moved on to getting the final 2 tames, as I found a level 85 giga, and for some reason decided to try and knock it out from the cliff. And I think you can guess up how this ends.
That's it, I'm out of here.
But this was a blessing in disguise, as around the corner there was an even better one, and this time I used my common sense and I trapped as I knocked it out. And a little while later it was tamed with 34 points into melee. I then popped back to base on the island to make myself a Quetzal platform saddle and the giga that I tamed on the island, and brought them over to Extinction so I could begin breeding the gigas. With the gigas breeding, I spent some time farming tributes for the titans, getting a lot of corrupted hearts, and once that was done I crafted a few metal structures, placed them on my quets. But first I needed to enter the desert cave, collect the artifact and summon in the Desert Titan. I then built the metal structures on my Quetzal, which is needed to tame the Desert Titan, and to tame it you need to fly underneath these nodes on its wings and wait for it to zap them.
Oh, good shot.
And then you just need to wait for it to destroy its own node and then move on to the next one, which was under its right wing.
Hey, finally.
Where I repeated the same process.
Oh, there we go. Now let's get the tail.
The tail was the most annoying part though. It stopped zapping, so I had to fly out and then quickly back under its tail, or I just used my shotgun.
No. Oh, was that it? Oh, sweet. It's an alpha. It was alpha.
The Desert Titan was completely finished, both defeated and tamed, but now I needed to move on to the other titans, and that started by me hatching up an army of gigas. As they grew, I went and completed an element vein, which garnished me quite a few hundred pieces of element. Back at base I hatched up another round of gigas and made myself some cannon shells to be used to tame the titans. So I took my mech over to the sunken forest and left it where I knew the titan would spawn, and entered the cave, collected the artifact of the growth, took out all the creatures with my giga before summoning in the forest titan.
Right, my mech. Oh, it's right behind me. So. Uh-oh. Was that a good hit? Oh, where's he going? Will it be a good hit? Oh, what a hit. Oh, it's still there. It's another good hit. Good hit, good hit, good hit. Oh, it's still not gone. Let's get that. Oh. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. Right, now let's get the left arm. Come on. Good hit. Wait, what's he doing? That's way too low. Oh, wait, it's got it. It's got the arm. It's got the arm. What is Buddy doing? Oh, oh, oh! Tame it. What have we got? I don't even know what it is, what level it is.
But I didn't really care about the level, I just cared about taming it. With one Titan left, I'd done a purple OSD to get all the corrupted hearts that I'd need, and then I left my mech at where the Ice Titan would spawn in and entered the Ice Cave, where I bulldozed my way through all the dire bears and wolves, collected the artifact and then summoned in the Ice Titan.
Bit good hit. It's down, nice. Should be around there when it gets up. Good. What a shot. That's down. One more. Is that a good shot? It's a good shot. Good shot. Good shot. Good shot. Ooh. Nice.
The Ice Titan was tamed, so I went back to base and began leveling up my many gigas. And also went out to get more corrupted hearts, as I still needed 300 more. Once I'd gotten a bunch of hearts, I entered the forest cave, got the artifact again and summoned in the forest titan once more and went to war against it.
Oh, we're gonna shred this. Come on guys, do damage. Sweet.
I followed this up by quickly entering the ice cave and summoning in the Ice Titan too.
Alright, almost dead. Sweet.
I defeated all 3 of the Titans, but I needed a few more tributes before doing the King Titan, and one of the tributes was from an enraged Rex, where I had to get its teeth, but I needed 5 of these teeth, so I had to go kill 2 more as each Rex drops 2. Once they were collected, I leveled up the remaining gigas I had, and then got the remaining corrupted hearts. And then I set up a little metal box so that when I inevitably die in the boss fight, I could spawn back close by. Then I threw out a small group of gigas, as I didn't want to send them all in at once, and summoned in the King Titan.
Right. King Titan, let's do it. Get it. Attack guys, attack. Uh-oh.
And that's why I made this little box cabin.
Oh, it's down already. Oh, they're hitting it there, okay. Do we break it or is he going for the punch? He's punching. Okay, we cancelled the break. Can I hit it? I have no clue what's happening.
I've had this happen before, so to fix it I just had to run away and de-render and re-render the King Titan.
Oh, here we go, here we go. Survive! Oh, I have 20 HP. Let's just do as much damage as we can before we die. Right, let's get back in there. Get in there, guys. Come on, we can finish it here. Come on. Let's go! This is carnage. It's done though.
And the King Titan and Extinction was done as I ascended, but I was soon back on the map to make sure I left with all my good gear, dinos, and now I was done for good. Back on the island, I uploaded some more items like my boss Rexes, guns and gear, and headed over to Genesis 1, which should be pretty quick as I just have a bunch of missions to do. So let's get started with that, as I completed the Wave Race 64 mission, which was a simple race mission on a Manta that I done on Gamma, Beta and Alpha. There was another race mission in the ocean which was simple to do, the Dolphin Race, so I quickly completed that on all 3 difficulties. But with the other water missions needing a water creature, and me not having brought one, I decided to teleport over to the volcano, where I started my next mission and one of my favourites, the Magma Medley Melee, where you get given a gun and have to kill waves of dinosaurs ranging from Rex to Magmasaurs to Phoenix and Brute Wyverns. This mission is easy on Gamma and is doable on Beta, but in single player it's impossible to do on Alpha unless you use a couple exploits, but we're not naughty. Staying in the volcano area, my next mission was a Gallimimus race, which was quickly completed on Gamma, Beta and Alpha. That wasn't the only race mission here, as there was a Doedicurus one, which was another easy way to get 3 more missions done on all 3 difficulties. I was loving doing the race missions, so much that they were the only ones I want to do right now, as I moved over to the bog and took on the Bloodstalker ones. There were also one of the wave missions here, which I love. The creatures here don't really do as much damage as the volcano one, but my weapon was much worse. But that didn't help when I fought a wyvern or a brood brother, but I did manage to upgrade to a flamethrower, and most importantly, the mission was done. My next mission, I got to showcase that I'm ARK's version of LeBron James.
I'm shooting in the wrong net.
In this next mission, I get to showcase that I'm ARK's version of LeBron James.
Oh my god, how did I miss?
I finally began shooting some threes and finished up on Gamma, then Beta, and finally Alpha. As I wasn't up for being the LeBron James of ARK, I returned to do some racing missions to show that I'm the Max Verstappen of ARK, as I demolished the Capra race on Gamma, Beta and Alpha. Before leaving the bog, I decided to do some more of the boring missions, like the Follow the Footprint missions, as I defeated the Gamma Brute X Raptor, Gamma Brute X Spionet. But I soon got bored of these, so I went over to the snow to do some more races, and the first one was the Sabertooth Slalom, which was done on the 3 difficulties. There was one more race mission in the snow, the Woody Rhino 500, which is possibly the easiest one of the lot, as it doesn't take me long to do it on all 3 difficulties. Next was another wave mission, where the gun selection was much better than the bog, as I picked up a shotgun, but the real fun started in the next round, as I picked up this menace, a tech grenade launcher, which just causes carnage. It soon meant my mission was over, as I demolished everything, and this was a complete contrast to my next mission, which was some ice fishing, and I won't bore you with that, so here's me completing it. My next few missions were more interesting, as I killed a Brute Ferox, a Brute Mammoth, and then headed back to the volcano to kill some Brute Allos, a Brute Rex, a Brute Magmasaur, and a Brute X Rock Elemental. And with that being my last hump mission in the volcano, I decided it was time to venture into space to take on my first mission there, a race on a tech hover skiff, which I've barely ever used before, but that didn't stop me completing it on Gamma, Beta and Alpha. My next mission let me attempt to reclaim my title as ARK's LeBron James, as I shot some more threes in space with a Bulldog as I completed this mission on Gamma, Beta and Alpha. But I had enough of space, so I went back to the volcano to do a mission called One Hell of a Treasure Hunt. At the end of this, I had to kill an Alpha X Trike, take its skull and then run away as even more creatures tried to kill me. But that didn't stop me from finishing, as Gamma was done. For my next job, I had to defend a pack of parasaurs from incoming hostiles, and then I had to collect some floating orbs by using the hand on my screen to guide me all over the map to find them, which was actually quite a nice way to explore the map. And then I went back to the bog to do some more fishing, as I reeled in more salmon using a net to finish Gamma and then Beta, but Alpha was a little bit too much for me. So instead I took down a brute Sarco and then a brute Bloodstalker. Next up I took on a few hordes of creatures to find pollen, which I needed to break open, and I needed 9 of these. Once they were all picked up, I had to run away to an escape point to finish the job. For my next job, I had to kill more incoming hordes of dinos, and then find and dig up snow mounds looking for a prize, but some of these mounds had microraptors inside. I finally picked up the 2 golden nuggets that I needed and made my way to the escape, killing a bunch of creatures which came my way, and finally got to the end and completed the mission. Up next I redone ice fishing, but this time on beta, and then I explored the snow biome by collecting these floating orbs to complete searching the Frozone mission. I was now up to 57 missions in total, with just 1 left to do to unlock the Gamma boss. So for my last mission, I decided to do a fun one, Bog Beatdown on beta, which wasn't as hard as I thought it would be, with the bow still doing a serious amount of damage. Like even taking down the wyverns were easy, although the broodmothers did still have 300k HP, which was a lot, but it was still easy to take down with the flamethrower. And that was the final mission I needed for Genesis 1. But before doing the boss, I needed to get all the tames. So I started by extracting some blood to get blood packs so I could quickly tame a Bloodstalker. And next I downloaded my mech and some cannons from a terminal and made my way over to the space biome to find a space whale, or as ARK called them, an Astrocetus. I found one and used a single rocket to knock it out, but that does destroy the taming effectiveness, but I don't really care for that, I just want a tame. For my next tame I went to the snow to get this little guy, a Ferox. To tame it you have to feed a piece of element and let it grow up big and strong and ugly, and then run away and not die to it. I ended up losing the level 25, but instead found this level 20, which should be an easier tame. And it was, as I fed it full element to tame it. The next tame took me inside the volcano and to this pit of lava, where I quickly stole a Magmasaur egg, jumped out and flew away on my Drake. And with that I only had 1 tame left to get, and it was in the ocean, this big fella, the Megachalon. To tame it I needed to get the aggro of a school of fish, lure it over so that they could start attacking the turtle or cleaning it, but either way the taming effectiveness would rise and soon it was tamed. So with all the creatures now tamed, it was just a matter of loading up all my boss Rexes and starting the boss fight. Once we were there, I started by changing my Rex's behaviour to aggressive, as this is a rather unique boss fight and requires you killing a bunch of hostiles, which then drop keys which you need to pick up and deposit at a code breaker so you can progress to the next stage. For the first stage you need a total of 80 keys, which isn't too hard to do.
Alright, that's stage 1 done.
The next stage is the exact same, but with some more difficult creatures that spawn, but my Rexes were coping very well, as I continued to just sprint round collecting all the keys.
Health 300, oh that's lost over 2k. Rest are all about 100 down. That's 5k? What is my guy doing? No, I'm not failing, Rockwell. Definitely think aggressive's the way to go because it means they get the first hit instead of having to react. Oh, it's a lot of keys. There we go.
But it was now time for the last stage, the most difficult one, where Reapers spawn, Rockwell shoots lasers from his eyes which stun you, and Gigas now also spawn too.
No, I can hear Gigas. But they're dying quickly.
But the main premise of the fight remained. I had to collect keys and deposit them, and after 40 I was able to begin shooting at Rockwell.
Rockwell, you're going down. Alright, that's another set of 40 keys. Die, Rockwell. You will die. That's another Rex down. Oh. Oh, so close. Oh, look, still move. No, I'm not. Right, it should be one more. Oh, this guy's getting lasered. What the hell? Ow. Let's go! Genesis 1 done.
With Genesis 1 done, I was back on the island downloading all my items, and before I could even think about Gen 2, I need to hatch up that Magmasaur egg first. So as that grew up, I made a bunch more shocking darts, and as I knew I'd be needing these a fair bit over on Gen 2. So I then moved over to it and spawned, flew over to a mission pad using the default tech suit you spawn with and collected all my stuff and started my first mission, Team Downriver Run, which is one of the most laid back, chill missions in the entirety of ARK, and that also makes it very easy. Up next was Circuit Chase, where I had to use a tech enforcer to navigate the inside of Rockwell's Genesis ship using the teleport feature and climbing up walls, but it's another fairly simple race. Next was using a tech hover cell, which was a very easy race. Up next was Slide and Glide, where I had to use a Maywing, and it's pretty fun when you gotta navigate the tunnels at quite a high speed. Next up was Starwing Strike, where you use an Astro Delphis, which I almost killed completing the race. Then I done Star Dolphin, which isn't a race, but you have to shoot enough drones and stuff to get a high enough score, and then you get sent out into space where you have to defend an Astro Cetus from incoming hostiles and meteors, and once you complete all the stages, the space whale disappears, but you aren't finished. Instead, Rockwell spawns again, and you now have to take him down by shooting his armor away so that you can then shoot him.
Let's go.
My next mission was Downriver Run, which is the exact same as the first one, except this is a solo only. But I'm on single player, so they were both solo to me anyway. My next mission was a gauntlet, like on Genesis 1, however this was much different. I was now fighting every creature in ARK, starting with the beach creatures, then moving on to Scorched Earth. And I forgot to say that you need to kill 50 creatures in each wave. But there were weapons you could buy using credit earned from killing the creatures, as I bought a minigun to help me take down the swampy creatures. But once that wave was over, I upgraded to a tech phase pistol, which for me is the best weapon to choose for this, as you literally obliterate everything, including the aberration creatures. At the end of this wave, I bought myself the dragon, but it wasn't actually that great as it died way too soon into the extinction wave, so I had to go back to my phase pistol, which I continued to use for the snow round, where I then bought myself some aloes to help out as I moved into the Genesis wave, and then into the penultimate round, the mountain creatures, which were rather easy. But then we had the last round, the big one, where we were up against dodos. Not just any dodos, there were zombie dodos, dodos that shot fireballs, and the Dodo Rex. But the beauty of the tech phase pistol is that the more you shoot a single target, the more damage it does, as it went from 300 damage per tick to over 1000, which meant the Dodo Rex was shredded within seconds, and I'd completed Survive the Ark. For my next mission, I started Bulldog Fetch, which can only be done at night. As the name implies, we have to save a bunch of Bulldogs from Megalosauruses and Raptors, and then knock them out and catch them. Once I finished with this mission, I noticed the area I was in was flooded with Maywings, and one was a level 145, so I had to tame it and tick it off the list. Once it was tamed, I started my next mission, a Ferox Cull, where I had to follow a bunch of footprints and kill a Ferox. After I completed Parasa Roundup, which was the exact same as the Bobdog one I had just done, and it was the same as my next mission, Maywing Poach, which was over fairly quickly too. I only had a few missions left, but they were the rather cool ones. In Choose Your Own Adventure, I had to kill some different coloured creatures and then go through the portal, which was the same colour as the creature that I killed the most, and on the first try, I got it wrong. But on my second attempt I chose the blue portal and succeeded. In the next stage I had to pick up different coloured keys, which led me through the blue portal again. For the next stage I had to activate many different coloured pads and then go through the most common colour portal, which led me into this giant thing, where I once again had to activate a bunch of coloured pads, but only the ones which they told me on the right hand side of the screen. And once I had completed all of that, the summoners would lose their invincibility and I could kill them, and began shooting at the main summoner. And then I had to do this all over again, and then once more. I finished the mission and was about to do the next one when I got blinded by this.
What the?
I then started my next mission, Code Red, which was all about protecting these biopods from being attacked, and once the timer was over I moved on to the next room where I faced this guy.
Whoa, it's got out. Ow. Come down. Look at these.
For some reason I was struggling to hit it, but then all the creatures that I had just protected came in to help me defeat it, and that was another mission done. Up next was my last mission, Life Support, which started with a sequence which I needed to enter correctly, and that led me into a room full of air supply tanks which I needed to keep repairing for the duration of 10 minutes so that I could survive. This then led me into another room where there were more air supply tanks that I needed to repair, but that wasn't the only thing I had to do. Whilst I was busy repairing them, my Rex was busy killing creatures, and after killing so many it would reveal a sequence of colours. At times it got pretty chaotic with all the creatures that I needed to kill. Eventually I got the sequences all done, but that wasn't the mission done just yet.
What the? I died? Oh, no way. I've got to do that all again with no ammo.
So before going again, I had to make up a bunch more ammo and really do the entire mission, getting to the same stage as before, and this time I killed both of those giant boss things and completed my last mission. Now I only had to tame the creatures and defeat the final boss, so I began working towards that as the day changed, which meant the space biome had changed, and I got lucky as the next day the mutagel rocks had spawned, so I spent basically the entire day farming those up as I needed 800 for the boss fight, which I managed to get by the end of the day, before the space biome changed again. I then turned this mutagel into mutagen at a chemistry bench and used it to go tame myself a level 20 tech strider, which is tamed by hacking it, where you have to align the squares in the line in the middle and then you can tame it. Next I went for the void worm, which you have to get its health down super low, begin riding it and tame it like a horse. Every time it spins you press E, and as I was in space I also tamed myself an Astrodelphis, which is a fairly simple passive tame with element. For my next tame I needed to go to Rockwell's biome to farm fungal wood to craft fish baskets so that I could trap up some fish, which I used to feed and tame a shadow main. And for the last tame I need to get some other tames first, and for those I selected a bunch of turtles so that I could tame this guy, a Noglin. To tame it you have to sacrifice a creature to let the Noglin begin mind controlling it, and once it's done controlling it you then give it another one, and you keep doing this process until you finish taming it, and that was the very last tame I needed to get. So I picked up all my Rexes from the terminal, but first had to stop in space and wait for the correct biome to spawn back in, as I needed more mutagel as I had used mine taming the tech strider and tech void worm. So after waiting for a couple days I finally got the correct rocks and farmed up a bunch more mutagel and turned it into mutagen at a chemistry bench, before flying over to Rockwell's innards to find the boss summoning platform, where I then summoned in the very last boss in ARK Survival Evolved.
I suggest starting with all these nasty tentacles.
Let's get fighting. Need to find those super tentacles. There one there. Where's the last one? There.
Must have struck a nerve if the beast his hand up the leaf to swat it with his
I need to shoot that.
We all want to talk. How long has your latest puppet here even been
I do
thawed
no
out?
damage. What the hell? More power? Investigate over there.
This one comes with a face
Sweet.
that just happens to interface with yours too. And it should be able to write
And it shreds. Let me get on one of you.
Just look at them go. Aren't they cunning? I needed a new crew for my
That's one down.
nice going. You love all the
That's the fourth one down. There's the fifth and sixth.
Appreciate a little artistic license.
Right, goodbye node.
Really? Another puppet show? Did you already forget how we scream all?
Get out. Wow, I'm weak already. Let's go get these three. Oh, there's still one left. There.
They do say that third time's the charm.
Don't they also say fooled you twice, shame on you?
Two more.
Final
Yes.
chance.
Oh, max down again.
Maybe you can reach some last morsel.
Alright, let's wait for it to get back up. Get out! There we go. Die! Is that it?
You really couldn't just cooperate and die. All of your tiresome meddling has come to nothing.
Sorry, mate. I gave it everything I got. I don't have any more primary energy to power the X-Men.
No!
You really are Helena Walker. No one else has ever been so singularly irritating. My undivided attention.
Defeat Rockwell. Right. Get him, guys.
Your little game comes to an end. Go on, waste your effort. I'm
Almost dead.
him now, and I can't be destroyed. Certainly not by the likes of you.
He's got 1 health left.
I'm not so sure about that.
Enough! This ends now! Your survival ends here!
Goodbye, Rockwell.
Is that desperation I hear? All right, I'm using all my reserves. The exomech is back online one last time. Get in, blast the bugger, and let's end this.
I can't be defeated by the likes of you! No, no! I am this vessel, and it is me!
Damn! I should have calculated for this possibility. I must have missed a transform on the 15 statistical outcome matrix. Simply put, Rockwell's embedded himself too deeply into the ship's primary systems. They're failing along with him. There's only one way to ensure this all ends here. Sorry, mate. I can't come with. And I'm almost out of time to back myself up. You'll do just fine on your own out there. You're a survivor.
And with Rockwell defeated for the very last time, ARK is completed. I have defeated every story map, tamed every creature from the island, scorched earth Aberration, Extinction, Genesis 1 and 2, and I've even lined them all up for you to see. In total here, there are 136 creatures tamed. This has taken me so long to do. I have also unlocked every single achievement there is to get in ARK. Oh shit.